if I can just have your attention, I'm just going to talk for a little bit. So, thanks, guys. All right. Hi, everyone. Thanks for coming. If you don't know yet, my name's Janie Kaiser, and I'm the founder of ECC Nepal, and I'm here to talk to you tonight about my nonprofit and what we do. I was born in St. Louis and lived here most of my life. I went to community school and then MICDS, and I did my undergraduate at Vanderbilt. Now, just to let you know, in case you don't know, because I didn't know before going there, Nepal is a tiny country squished between India and China. It is the poorest and most underdeveloped country in Asia. So, you're probably curious how I started out in Nepal. I went there in 2014 through Vanderbilt for a study program, and I was doing research there, and I decided to do independent research on rural education development. So that put me in a really unique position. I got to go to a really remote and rural corner of Nepal and study how their education system was working and how it wasn't working. While I was there, I identified some massive needs. Namely, their infrastructure was completely horrible, but also what really stuck with me was the style of teaching and the type of teaching they were using. It was memorization and recitation-based learning, and the child developmental specialist in me and the educator in me just wanted to stand up and scream, "This is not how children learn. This is not how you teach." And I was just sitting in those classrooms thinking, education is the most powerful tool in the world, and they're wasting it. So I knew I had to go back to Nepal and do something about it. I returned to Nepal in 2017. I wanted to go back earlier, but unfortunately the earthquake slowed me down. And I raised some money from family and friends, and I decided to build some child-friendly tables, to do some basic teacher training, and do some demonstration English teaching. My plan was sort of to do these things and then continue on with my life, but all those plans changed because of this lovely man right here. This guy is Min. He is a Nepali guy, and he is my co-founder of ECC Nepal. He really wanted to be here tonight. Unfortunately, the visa situation didn't work out, but he would like to thank all of you guys for coming. So he was my original point person in Nepal, and when I returned in 2017, we were having coffee in Kathmandu in this tiny little crowded coffee shop, and at the time, Min was running one of the largest education nonprofits in the whole of Nepal, serving over 30,000 schools. And he said to me, "Janie, I got a better idea. How about I quit my job, you commit to Nepal, and we open our own nonprofit and develop our own intervention to change schools." And I don't like to say no. So I said, yes, I have a Vanderbilt degree that tells me I know about kids and developing. I can do this. So I said yes, and founded a nonprofit when I was 24 years old. And I wish that my expensive Vanderbilt degree was enough to run a nonprofit, but unfortunately it didn't teach me everything I needed to know, and I had a lot to learn. I knew about education and development, but I didn't know anything about budgets and spreadsheets and proposals. I had never worked with government officials in developing nations or mobilizing impoverished people. I had to learn about fundraising and sponsorships and grant writing and the legalities of opening a nonprofit in America. But luckily I like learning because today ECC is a thriving nonprofit. So just to give you a bit of background, this is a map of Nepal. This is a map of Nepal. So this circle here, that's Kathmandu. So that's the capital of Nepal. That's where all your resources are. That's where all your technology is. That's the economic center. This circle over here is Min's own village and the area we decided that we wanted to transform education in. So obviously we face a massive obstacle of just the distance. So to travel, to get all of our resources from Kathmandu to Dailek takes over 30 hours of bus travel. I mean, we're talking bumpy roads, not finished, dirt, cliffs. I mean, ask Lee, she's done it. It's pretty full on. So that was a massive obstacle, but luckily we've been able to bring resources to people that would otherwise not have any. So what we do, me and Min developed a 4-part program in Nepal. So part 1 is ATLP, Active Teaching and Learning Practices. This is our teaching guide on how to be an active and interactive teacher. So it's broken into 2 parts. It's got theoretical knowledge about classroom management and teaching and learning, and it's got practical knowledge with over 100 games you can do in the classroom. Now, it was based on Nepali standard curriculum, and it's translated into Nepali for all of our teachers. So teachers who we train, they get 2 days of group training on the package, and then they get 2 days of in-class training where we work alongside them to make them become interactive and active, engaged educators. Part 2 of our program is classroom materials. So these classrooms were empty, so we had to provide materials that correspond with everything in our training packages. So all the things you see in these photos, ECC gives to every classroom they partner with to help encourage the teachers to be interactive with their students. So all sorts of different materials. And part 4 is infrastructure, part 3, sorry, is infrastructure. So we provide all the infrastructure necessary to make it a clean classroom environment. So we paint and plaster the walls, we build child-friendly furniture, and we carpet the floors. And we build racks for their bags and their shoes. And part 4, which is the most important part, I think, is follow-up and support. So we didn't want to just give these teachers training and leave them on their own. So we spend a lot of time and a lot of our energy following up with them, visiting their classrooms, calling them, giving them assignments, working alongside them, and just making sure they feel supported and helped as they go through their journey in becoming new and improved teachers. So who we help? Started out in 2017, we were in 3 classrooms. We just trained 9 teachers, and we were reaching 267 students. However, the Nepali government approached us almost immediately after and begged us to expand. They offered us a massive fund for all infrastructure if we agreed to expand to 14 more local schools. So me and Min were up for the challenge. So in 2018, 2019, we picked up 14 new schools. Now, obviously, expanding wasn't without its difficulties. Being a remote and rural area, I mean, there were a lot of days we were carrying notebooks, pencils, crayons, etc. on our backs to get them to school in time. But we succeeded, and we've added 14 new schools to our program in the last year and a half. As we expanded, so did our team. And luckily, me and my partner Min are related to some pretty incredible people. So most of you will know my sister Lee. She's here tonight as well. As our education coordinator, so helping come up with all these activities in the classroom and how to work with the teachers, because she's got 3.5 years experience in the classroom as well as a background in teaching. And this lovely lady right here is the nicest person you'll ever meet. This is Priyanka. She's Min's daughter, and she has many years experience in teaching, and she's amazing in the classroom with teachers and students alike, and she's got incredible local knowledge, and she's our new project manager, and we're super happy to have her. So when we started in 2017, we had 3 schools, 9 classrooms, and 267 students. In 2018, we added 7 schools, 25 new classrooms, and 599 students. And just this past year, we've added 7 new schools, 21 new classrooms, and 550 more new students into our program. So that means cumulatively, when we started in 2017, we were only reaching 267 rural school children, and now we're reaching 1,412 rural Nepali school children. As our organization grew, so did our ideas, and we added a few additional projects, like bringing playgrounds and sports materials to our students, and my favorite project. So traditionally, guys, Nepali kids don't eat for the whole school day. They come to school at 10 and leave at 4, and they don't have any food. So we provided all our students with a not all, but 4 schools of students with a traditional Nepali lunchbox called a tiffin, and then we educated parents on how to pack lunch for your kids to come for the school day. This program was an instant success, with students coming the next day with overflowing boxes. I mean, too much food for a 4-year-old to eat. And it's made such a difference in the classrooms. Kids were going home at break time to eat and not coming back, and it stopped that practice. And now it's added to the atmosphere in the community in the school. They're sharing a meal together, and it's obviously helped with concentration because students are eating and then going back to class. So it's made a huge difference, and we want to do it in more of our schools. Now, everything what I've listed so far, I'd like to say that that's all I do in Nepal, but that's not true. My organization, we are involved in every aspect of the schools. I mean, we seriously do everything. We visit every classroom, and when we get there, we sweep the floors and we roll out carpet, we paint the walls, we move furniture, we sharpen pencils, we set up books. We work alongside teachers, we work with students on their reading and writing skills, we teach them to wash their hands. And then we meet a lot. We meet with teachers and principals, school boards, management committees, and the government. And we spend a lot of time meeting and working with these people, and we decide things like budgets, curriculums, and coordinating. We decide classrooms, hiring and firing of teachers, and teaching goals. So we are involved in every aspect of the schools because we're really committed to all of our 17 schools We want to make sure that every part of the school is successful and running well. So the next question you probably want to ask me is, well, Janie, this sounds cool, but does it work? I mean, that's what I'd ask. I think the faces on these two little girls will show you that the Lunchbox program obviously works really well. But I'd like to share a bit about what we're doing and how it's actually changing the classrooms. I've got some incredible before and after photos for you. So this was taken in 2017 in a grade 2, and that is their current classroom. This is the same school, grade 4 and 5, and that's where they study now. That's the grade 3 classroom at the same school, and that's their current classroom. This is at Krishna. That was grade 2's classroom in 2017, and that's now. This is at one of our newer schools, Banu. That was the grade 3 classroom in 2018, and that was their classroom at the end of 2018. And this is the last one. This is Banu, grade 1. That was their classroom, and that's their classroom now. So they say, like, a picture says 1,000 words. But I'd also like to tell you a bit more about the actual changes we're seeing in the teaching and learning and the students, beyond just the photos and the physical changes. A really good way for me to demonstrate this, guys, is 2 schools I visited. Suryodaya School, which is not a partner school with ECC, and Banu School, which is one of our partner schools. Now, I visited both these schools in May, one day after the other, and the differences I saw really demonstrated the difference ECC is having in these schools. Now, take the start of the school day, for example. At Suryodaya School, the school day started out in chaos. Kids were sitting on the floor, writing on their laps. Many didn't even have notebooks. The teacher walked in, asked them to copy 5 letters from the board, and she walked out. At Banu School, the school day started with students walking in the classroom, being greeted by name. They put their bags in the back rack, they got out their designated notebook and pencil, and they joined together in a circle to sing a morning greeting song. Now, we asked the teachers at both schools, what are you teaching today? At Suryodaya School, I got answers like, I don't know, or maybe some letters and numbers. At Banu School, the teachers had written out their schedule on the board of everything they planned to teach for the day, and they followed through with it. Students at Suryodaya were horribly managed. They were running in and out of the class all day. They were not engaged. The teacher wasn't even there half the time. Students at Banu were sat nicely, comfortably, engaged in listening. They were playing all different games and activities all day long with all sorts of materials. Now, we asked 3rd graders at Suryodaya to write their name in English. Only 50% of 3rd graders at Suryodaya could write their name in English. 100% of 1st graders at Banu could do the same thing. We asked the 1st graders to identify 20 simple English words. Not a single of the Suryodaya students could do so. All of the 1st graders at Banu could do it, and they were fighting me to be the first to answer. But I think the most impactful moment, and this is something I'll never forget, we went into the 4th grade classroom at Suryodaya. There was 28 kids in that class. And we opened the textbook to the first page, the first line in Nepali, and we said, okay, read the first sentence. Out of 28 4th graders, 4 of them could read 1 sentence in their own language. And this is a typical Nepali rural school. This is typical. At Banu, 70% of the 4th graders could read from their textbook with fluency. The most interesting thing about this is we had only been working in Banu School for 5 months, and we were already seeing these insane differences. I have one more thing to share with you. I might have already convinced you of what an impact we're making, but we have even more exciting news to share. So we wrote a student achievement test, and we administered it to all the students in our schools and 2 control schools. So students in control schools where we've never worked were scoring, this was given in June, they were scoring an average of 53% on the student achievement test. Students in schools where we'd been working for 1 month were scoring an average of 62%. Students in schools where ECC had been there for 8 months were scoring an average of 84%. And schools we'd been in for 1.5 years, the students were scoring an average of 84%. Now, when me and Min got these results, we were blown away. We did not expect to see such an exact and incredible correlation and how fast and effective our program was in changing the Nepali students and how much they're learning and understanding in school. So that's pretty incredible. I hope you're all here tonight because you like me and you are interested in Nepal and maybe you want to help. Guys, I'm so passionate about what I do, and the reason I have this tonight is I want to find other people who will be passionate with me. So if you're interested in my cause and what I'm talking about, please spread the word. We're on Facebook, we've got a website, there's loads of extra brochures at the door. Please get involved and tell more people about what we're doing, because I could use all the support I can get. Obviously, monetary donations are super helpful. They run our whole organization. There are some beautiful students available for sponsorship tonight. I know a lot of you have already sponsored a student, and thank you so much for doing so. That money will go directly to ensuring that student gets an interactive education, a clean classroom, clean drinking water, and food to eat. If you did already sponsor a student, don't forget to grab your student on the way out. The girls can help you find the one you sponsored so you can keep their information for yourself. And lastly, we've got merchandise here for sale. It's all on this table on your way out if you want any cool ECC swag or any locally handcrafted products from Nepal. Now, I know there's quite a few educators in the audience tonight, and I've spoken to quite a few of you already, but I can always use more help. Everything we use so far in Nepal has been generated from our current team. So we're always searching for new ideas and new inspiration, so please get in touch with me, get my card, get my information, and reach out. I need all the support I can get. And lastly, you guys are all more than welcome to come to Nepal and see what we do firsthand and make a difference on the ground. I won't make you ride a bus for 33 hours. Now, I've said a lot of things tonight and I've been speaking for quite a while, but the most important thing to remember is that because of your support and what ECC does, 1,412 young students just like this are getting a better future. Thank you all for coming and have a lovely evening. Yes, Mr. Allenstown.
What's the advantage of teaching them English? Is that unexpected?
So they, no, English